Emergency pod, baby. Enter tank mode. Frank Reich is out. Jeff Saturday is in. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Colts cast. We're here to talk about everything and anything Indianapolis Colts. Let's get right into it, Jamal. We're going to be as brief as possible. The dagger has finally fallen on Frank Reich. The Colts fired Reich today. A few weeks ago, we heard Frank Reich is safe. Then Matt Ryan got benched. Then Marcus Brady got fired. And now Frank Reich gets fired. Jamal, let me know your initial thoughts.
Well, you already know how I feel. Anybody who listened yesterday heard me say, how much more can Jim Irsay take? This had to be the straw to break the back of Jim Irsay because it's been too long. Every single week, it's the same lame excuse of how it's my fault. I need to do something. It's not the team's fault. We need to figure this out. We need to do that. And as I said to everyone yesterday, it was kind of fishy that Irsay decided to not speak after the game. He's really big on speaking after the game all the time. But he didn't say a word. He just kind of sat there with a sour face. And that kind of set the tempo. That's the tempo for what it was. Reich's post-game conference was definitely lackluster. I feel like you could hear the disappointment in his voice. One would venture to say that
he knew.
I was gonna say, I'm sure Irsay probably said, "Hey, dog, you got one more shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime."
Oh my goodness!
But no, needless to say, he's out the door. Which I was. Anybody who's listening know that I was ecstatic to hear that. I was excited. I was happy. I said, finally, a fresh face. Because what people keep forgetting, Eric, is not so much that I wanted that I expect a new coach to come in and take over and all of a sudden make us a playoff team. No, I have said from the beginning, once we started going downhill, I do not want to go to the playoffs. It's at a point where earlier during the season we talked about how we're still in a good position. We shouldn't be with a 3-win record right now. Somehow we mysteriously are, and we are in pretty good draft position. So I don't want to see a new coach come in and try to turn this boat all the way around. I do want the players to play, but I want them to play, not to play to try to get to an AFC Championship game, because that's just not going to happen. That's not going to work like that. And I think that I thought that everyone around us would have the same mentality as well, or I figured that Jim Irsay would have more of a, I want to continue to win more. So he would have ventured out to maybe use John Fox, an experienced coach, or maybe Gus Bradley, an experienced coach, or one of the other many coaches that are either A, on the staff, or B, chilling on another team right now. But no, in classic Jim Irsay fashion, he managed to figure out a way to take this crazy turn of events and make it even more wild by adding Jeff Saturday, who has never coached a snap of football in the National Football League.
So my problem, and I'm going to head back to Frank Reich real quick. He was a winning coach, right? 4.5-year tenure, 40, 33, and 1. Jesus. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. He also had a postseason win. 2 losses came with that as well. But he had a winning record. I understand Band-Aids on quarterbacks do not work. They don't work in the NFL. Hasn't worked. We had 7 starting QBs under Frank Reich. All includes Andrew Luck, Jacoby Brissett, Brian Hoyer, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, and Sam Ehlinger. And I'll be honest. I'm going to be brutally honest right here. Frank Reich shouldn't have to coach a different quarterback every year. How do you expect success from that? To me, that's an organizational failure, all the way up to Chris Ballard, all the way up to Jim Irsay. So I'm not the dagger has finally fallen on him, but I kind of feel bad for him. QB stability to me is a real thing. And in hindsight, I'm about to say this, I think we jumped the gun on Carson Wentz. I really do. 1 year with Carson Wentz, and we were already out, and we just dug ourselves a deeper hole. Hindsight is 2020. That's really what I believe in. But yeah.
No, and I agree with both statements that you just made. The first one about Reich not being able to work with, 12 different quarterbacks in his 5-year tenure. I know this is exaggeration, but it's not fair. It's not fair. And I also thought that it was not fair that during this time, Ballard has not come to a podium once to talk about what's going on in the organization. I don't always expect the GM to come out and be vocal on everything, but there comes a point where I would like to think that if you know that your team is on the decline, especially when you were the one who said that you didn't want a receiver, you didn't want a veteran receiver, we didn't need any other players at any other position because we liked our groups and we were confident. I do think it was kind of messed up for Ballard to never come out and say anything and Reich continuously take the blame on himself. Of course, I know that comes with the job of being a head coach, excuse me, but I also feel like as a GM, there are responsibilities to, like you mentioned, Eric, to set your coaching staff up for success. And we did not. Now, I do think that, like you said, we probably did jump the gun with Carson a little early. But also, it was hard because Frank has to take the fall for that one just because Frank vouched for him. He handpicked him. Yeah, and he eventually tossed him to the Wolves as well. So I feel like he lost a lot of confidence in him too. So I do think that we did probably prematurely get rid of him.
It's a lot of scapegoating, man.
Yeah,
it really is.
Exactly.
It's always throwing people under the bus.
Exactly. It's dirty. It's dirty, man.
Need a new culture, man.
You do. And the biggest thing I would say, and the reason why the new culture is not going to happen with Jeff Saturday is because Jim Irsay, as I have said before, Jim Irsay is still living in the past. This reminds me so much of how the Cowboys organization is run. They still think it's 1990. They still think it's the 90s where they were winning Super Bowls. The same way that Jim Irsay still thinks it's 2006 when they were going to the Super Bowl. There is no Dallas Clark. There is no Brandon Stokely. There is no Reggie Wayne, no Marvin Harrison, no Jeff Saturday, no Peyton Manning. These days are over. They're over. You cannot keep bringing in all these old people and expecting something to just magically reappear. There are so many coaches out there right now who could have come in and tried this right here. And I understand the interim head coach, like I said, it's just more of a tryout position or whatever. That's fine. You know what I'd like to see Jeff Saturday do for us, Eric? How about he go coach the O-line, which is what he was great at. Go be the O-line coach and let Gus or John Fox or anybody else step up and be the coach, the head coach. But let Jeff Saturday do what he knows how to do. Let him go to the position he knows how to go to. Not give him a title off of someone who has never coached in the NFL before. I just don't. That doesn't make sense.
Hold up. I'm about to make it make sense.
All right, please do.
Tank mode, baby. He already sees the writing on the wall. It's franchise QB time.
I hope so.
We about to extend those 5 losses to 13 losses, baby. 3-13-1. Because that was my question, Jamal. And I wanted you to help me understand the hiring of Jeff Saturday. Zero coaching experience at the collegiate and professional level. That's wild to me. I know he's a likable guy, though. Has a good standing from his All-Pro years with the Colts. But I'm surprised he got picked to be interim head coach. So, like I said, to me, confirms this season is now in the dumpster. It's like a trial period for everyone, including Sam Ehlinger. And it's that free trial, you have to cancel before the 2023 season starts if you don't like what you're getting type of trial. But we are in that free trial, baby. Look, I do think, because you brought up he should be coaching the offensive line. I think the offensive line probably gets better in the near future. Because, Jeff Saturday, he played center. Super Bowl champion, 4-time All-Pro, 6-time All-Pro Bowler. 6-time Pro Bowler. I think with that kind of resume at the helm of the Indianapolis Colts, you would think it would have a positive impact on the O-line in the future, right?
You would definitely think so, but I also like to just go back to remind the world that not everyone who was a great player is a great coach. Doesn't always work out like that, and I think a lot of times people forget that. Like you said, Jeff Saturday is a household name. Anybody who loves a nice guy, you love Jeff Saturday. I mean, he's a ESPN analyst. I'm sorry. And I mean, it's good. Like on TV, he speaks well, he acts well, he's very PC. Everything about him is like a stand-up guy, which is good. But I said the same thing when we did Reggie Wayne. I said, are we just hiring him because he was successful in the shoe? That's not the way that it works. That you can't always just do that. So again, I do think that Jim Irsay definitely knows that it's over, but I hope that he truly knows that it's over and he's not. Oh, and I don't want to sleep on Jeff Saturday because I don't know how his coaching tenure will go for these next 7-8 games. However,
nobody knows.
Yeah, no one knows. But I'm just saying that's one of those things where it's like, I hope that Jim Irsay isn't like, this is our future. Because as I said, and I will always, Eric, I will always stick to this. Jim Irsay is a great person, but he is a terrible businessman, a terrible owner. Like some of the stuff he does with football just doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, out of all the things you could do, you go hire someone of left field to come be your head coach. I don't know. Again, and I hope that I'm just overreacting to it all. But I just always feel like Jim Irsay, man, he's just such a nice guy, but he doesn't run the organization the way a football organization should be run. And going back to what I was going to say, though, just real quick on the players, people like Peyton, he said he won't go into coaching. These guys won't go into coaching. And the reason why a lot of these guys aren't good coaches, Eric, is because they are so good at their craft that they would expect perfection every single play. And you can't teach some of the stuff that these people possess. You know what I mean? You can't teach all that stuff. So it's hard for someone to go into the game and give it their all when the person beside them or who's underneath them isn't going to do it. So I hope that Jeff Saturday is a I don't know, I want to say humble enough person, but a good of enough potential coach that he can get the best out of someone. But other players who have been great players, it's been proven that they can't go on to coach because it's just they have a different kind of an instinct that you can't teach the next person up. So it's definitely a trial and error thing.
Yeah, it can't get worse from here, man. I mean, we hit rock bottom, I think, with this last game, and all signs point for me. I'm 90% sure on this. We're aiming for a franchise long-term QB in this draft. That it's got to be it. I want you to do it in the first round. If you somehow feel like you can get in the second round, sure. But if you guys don't draft a quarterback in this class, I am retiring as a Colts fan at the end of that draft. Because right now, I'm giving Sam Ehlinger a pass for his outing against the Patriots on the road. I don't think he's the long-term solution. There were plays in the game that he should have made. He just couldn't do it. Open wide receivers that he didn't see. You know, just start him for the rest of the season. Let's see what we have with him. But right now, still, I'm aiming for a franchise QB next April. But that's me, because expectations are low for Ehlinger. But he needs to play phenomenal to change my mind. You hit the nail on the head with that. I agree with everything you just said, and I just hope that with this franchise quarterback, we're doing it without Chris Ballard, because I don't want him to go out and draft a cornerback in the first round, because I know he'll do some stupid crap like that. Oh, we don't need a quarterback. Let's go ahead and go grab this defensive end in the first round with a stacked quarterback class, because there's probably a possibility we can pick one up in the late second round, early third round. So we better not have that nonsense going on. We about to have a top 5 pick now. Like, it's CJ Stroud season. It's bright. Like, things have changed.
And it's so crazy, because when I was preaching this knowledge 6 weeks ago, ain't nobody want to listen. Nah, we still 1-2-1. Don't worry about it, bro. Nah, I've been saying this for weeks now. It's over. You can look at the gameplay and tell it was over.
You couldn't tell me Marcus Brady, Matt Ryan was getting, but you could not predict all of this.
All right, fine. Once we had 3 losses under our belt with 1 win and 1 tie, yes, I had already been complaining. I said, it's done. Like, it's over. Nah, we can still get to the playoffs. Play who? Play who? We can't even keep up. We can't even keep up with the Texans. Anybody, man. But we're not going down that rabbit hole today. We said short and sweet. So I'm glad it's not glad. Obviously, I don't pray on a bad season, but I'm glad that now holistically we can see that there is a chance. I mean, now we have a little bit of capital with maybe some of our draft picks, so we can try to push them down even more to a late second round or early third round pick on top of our first round pick that we are going to be getting. So I'm excited for that, and I am.
Yeah, we're going to have a fun draft. It's QB season, guys.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do some mock drafts and my quarterback rankings. I love doing that analytical stuff. But that's going to be it for us, everyone. I want to thank everybody for tuning into our Emergency podcast today. We do episodes bi-weekly. We got you guys another episode in a few days. Go ahead and check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. And we'll be back to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Y'all take care.
Take care.